Greetings, you heathens. Find me here in my office in Lampeter drinking tea and eating ginger biscuits. Ginger biscuits. So a few people have been asking, because I've not done one for a while, like little stories from my career. Still baffles me how people are interested. But there we go. I'm glad you are. Thank you. Thank you indeed. So I thought we'd talk this one. Today's story goes back to a time. So I was on agency in London for a while. And it always went dead in January, obviously. So I ended up going and working for HSF, HSF Logistics, who were commonly known as widespread lawbreakers. They did this thing called the day-night day, which is exactly what it sounds like. An average day-night day would be doing your deliveries and collections in Holland. So this is one, all right, different people had different day-night days. My average day-night day was often I'd ship in on from the Hull to Rotterdam boat. Was it Rotterdam? Yeah, it was. Hull Rotterdam on P&O, lovely boat that was. It was nearly new at the time. Then I'd do deliveries in Holland. Then I would do collections in Holland. Go back to Nijmegen in the evening, tip and reload myself, and then drive all night to the UK, and either do deliveries all next day in the UK, or drive up to Holyhead for the ferry. Lots of people thought they could do this. So when I first went, it was one of the only jobs I had a job interview for. So I went to Coventry because they used a British agent. And he looked down at my CV, because obviously it had a massive turnover of drivers. You would literally last a week sometimes. He'd look down at my CV and he said, "Oh, I can see you work for Nolan's. I think you're going to be fine." Which I was, to be fair. Before anybody says anything, I'm not boasting about having done this. It's just a story. I mean, I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it either, like so many of us did back then. I don't see any point of being ashamed of stuff like that, because I did it and I had a great time at the time. I couldn't do it now, if I can kill me now. I was in my mid to late 20s at that time. Also, somebody whinged at me the other day because they said I was rude because I keep belching on videos. That's not really belching. I've got a damaged esophagus because I had the stomach ulcers and I ended up throwing up a lot, so I had lots of stomach acid going up my throat. I have a damaged esophagus, so that's what that is. So yeah, people, so you'd often be in Nijmegen on a Friday night, and in the little canteen there, you'd see all the drivers in their white coats and stuff, and you'd see a new driver there looking like the world has just ended, because he suddenly dawned on him what a day-night day is. So he'd been working all day and was going to be expected to work all night then, and it's like, oh dear, here we go. So you never used to get, as anybody at work for HSF will tell you, you never used to get too friendly with a new driver, because you probably weren't going to see them again. It was great fun. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Brilliant period of my life. All my periods of life have been brilliant. I mean, I've had a fantastic career. I loved every minute of it. I also had a bit of a reputation of being a bit of a nutcase at HSF, and do you know why? Because I didn't take 45-minute breaks. So, for instance, you'd get off the train in Calais in the early hours, early hours of the morning, and then if you were doing Ireland, you'd have run up to Holyhead for the afternoon boat. If I wasn't tired, I wouldn't take a 45-minute break. I just used to pop a taco. I used to just change tacos every 4 hours. None of this falsifying and forging all sorts of things, or winding the clock forward or backward. Just change tacos every 4 hours and don't produce them if you get stopped. But yeah, these drivers would often comment on the fact I don't have 45-minute breaks, and it's like, you've just driven all day, all night, and you're going to drive all day again. Why is a 45-minute break suddenly become a law you want to obsess over? Baffling. But yeah, I did a lot of Ireland with HSF. Brilliant job, because it was all multi-drop. I really like multi-drop. And then I went to Virginia, and a lot of their work was multi-drop. My favourite runs at Virginia were often Italy with the meat from Liffey Meats, and that was all multi-drop, sometimes 10, 15 drops, the length of Italy. But that's another story. That is a story for another time. So there we go. There's the latest story, HSF and the prolific law breaking. Scandalous, absolutely scandalous.